I mean, the first album that he did with Van Halen was 86, I think. Because I was a massive Van Halen fan. And so after David Lee Roth left in 84, and they announced Sammy Hagar, and then 5150 came out, we were all, I remember buying that cassette, and I couldn't wait to go home and listen to it. And it was a lot slicker than what they had done with David Lee Roth. You know, it was the era of keyboards, and that was kind of reportedly what had led to David Lee Roth leaving in the first place. He wanted Van Halen to remain kind of a gritty rock and roll band, and Eddie Van Halen was getting more into what the 80s was doing. There was keyboards and, you know, synthesizers and things like that. And so a lot of that Hagar stuff, they had their biggest hits with Sammy Hagar. I mean, massive, massive hits. And Sammy could write songs too. And, but, you know, the guy's 70, 71 years old now. Maybe even older. I don't remember how old Sammy Hagar is, but he's up there. And last time I talked to him was a couple of years ago. He was in town to do a charity thing, and I talked to him a little bit backstage. I'm sorry, he's 76. Sammy Hagar is 76 years old. And so he'll cop to the fact that he's like, look, a lot of those songs, I cannot hit those notes anymore, and so I'm not going to be doing those songs. But that's kind of, I'm curious how they're going to do a Van Halen tribute tour if you can't hit those notes. And Joe Satriani playing the Eddie parts. I'm sure it'd be really, really fun to do it if you're them. It'd be fun. And they're professionals. I hope they pull it all off. But I don't know. There was a long time ago that he was hitting those super, super high notes on their biggest songs. On Dreams and Best of Both Worlds and Black and Blue. I mean, he's still screaming his head off on these songs, and he ain't going to do that anymore. You know, when any artist gets older, they start singing the songs. They change the octave, right? Mm-hmm. Music stays the same, but they start singing in the register that they can do.
Yeah, that's the spot where you just hold the microphone out to the crowd and let them do it.
Yeah.
See,
somebody in the crowd can do
hit
it.
Those screams anymore.
And then someone's going to do it so well that they'll be like, ooh, you should be in the band.
Hey,
like the movie Rockstar.
There you go. Call Gary Sharon back, and everything will be. He's out with Extreme, though, in 2024. He can't hop up there. But no Alex Van Halen involved, and they said we'd love to have him along, love to have him come out and play, but, you know, I think once Eddie died, it was game over for Alex Van Halen. He was like, I have. Why would you want to go out? Why would you want to go out and play every night after being one of the biggest bands in the world with your brother? Why would you want to go out with other guys playing? It would be weird. I mean, you know.
Maybe you just love it. Maybe you just love playing. So you want to play.
Yeah, well, so far, that has not been the case. Huh? So next summer, I'll have, we're only here today and tomorrow this week, but I'll have more of those tickets for you tomorrow if you want to go see Sammy and Mike Anthony. Those guys have been thick as thieves the whole time. And Satriani, who, you know, again, Joe Satriani, just to reiterate what a once-in-a-generation talent Eddie Van Halen was. Once in a probably multiple generation talents, is that Joe Satriani is one of the most capable and accomplished guitarists of all time in rock and roll. And he's like, I've had a real hard time learning these Eddie Van Halen songs because he was just doing things nobody else was doing. And I mean, and only he knew how he got there. And so to have to play the charts, to have to learn, I'm sure partially by ear, but to have to look at the charts and figure out what he was doing would be a very, very difficult thing to do. Letterman's going to be on Colbert tonight. I'm not sure what he's pimping. David Letterman, they're making a big deal out of it because, well, if you miss Letterman like I do, I mean, his most recent iterations, you know, he's got that Netflix show. For some reason, they're less fun. I don't know. It's, you know. But he's going to be doing Colbert tonight, and he hasn't actually been on the CBS Late Show since he left. You'll see him pop in every so often. He's been on with Fallon, and I think he probably went and said hi to James Corden and things like that.
Neat.
But
do you think he'll be? I think I know what the announcement is. He's going to be
pregnant.
Taylor Tomlinson's co-host on that new midnight show.
See, that's the thing, too, is that back in the day, he controlled that whole block, right? Worldwide Pants he produced 11:30 and 12:30. And then when he left, Colbert's company produces 11:30 and 12:30. So that's why Colbert picked Taylor Tomlinson. But I'm curious what he's doing tonight. Now, he did handpick the musical guest. Letterman asked The National to come and play from Cincinnati, Ohio. And if you're familiar with The National, I think they describe themselves as sad rock for dads. But they are a very, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but they're a very good band. And so Letterman is going to be on Colbert tonight for the first time he's been in the Ed Sullivan Theater since he left his show, which was...
Is he going to announce that he's also giving up smoke?
He and Snoop Dogg are giving up smoke together.
Another ad.
Yeah. So...
Well, he was doing a whole thing where he was giving away the marquee. Do you think it'll be announcing the winner of the marquee?
Oh, I have no idea.
With David Letterman?
The marquee that's on the building?
It's the one that was up there when it said The Late Show with David Letterman.
Ah.
And he's giving that away. So
don't know about that.
There was some sort of sponsor for that. I didn't pay attention, but I know that was an ad I saw a few times. So I wonder if it's related to that in some way.
Possibly is. I don't know. You know, that generation of comedian, Colbert and Conan, and, you know, those guys all kind of came from the Letterman school, and so they all think very, very highly of him. But I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do for an hour. Well, I guess you just talk to him.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure it out.
So it's Letterman and The National tonight on Colbert. National, who I think just dropped like a surprise album or something, but they had a great song with Taylor Swift about a year ago.
All their albums are a surprise to me because I've never heard of them before.
You've never heard of The National?
Never.
Yeah, they have their last record was called First Two Pages of Frankenstein, and but they did a song with Taylor Swift that's like this real kind of sad dirge, but it's just really well written, and the harmonies are great, and you go, God damn, that is a talented girl. She's very, very talented, even though the music is, it's not for me, but a really good song.
I heard that Taylor Swift is music for fat, ugly girls. I believe Bridget Linton said that.
Again, you'd want to consult her on that. All I'll say is I never heard her say that. I don't know where you did. I know you swear she said it here. I didn't hear her say that.
I'm pretty sure she said it. I feel like she says it all the time.
All the time?
Yeah, it's like her, sign on, sign off.
Is that why it's in her Instagram bio?
Mm-hmm.
So the Taylor Swift, by the way, skipping Monday Night Football. Not going to be at the Chiefs-Eagles game tonight because there was a change.
I guess I'm not watching.
A change in her tour schedule, and she can't make it. Mm-hmm. They have to mention now.
The relationship's already getting rocky. She could have she's Taylor Swift. She could do those shows anytime she wants. But now she's skipping her boyfriend's football games, and before you know it, she's got a new album about how things didn't work out with the football guy.
I'm going to make a prediction right here. Coxtradamus is still buried in the sands of Jamaica, but I'm going to make a prediction. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will get married.
I like that.
How you like that?
I like that. And he's going to become Travis Smith.
Yeah,
Swift.
Smith.
I gotta go.
You know what? He's not only gonna not take her name, he's not taking his own name.
He's taking the most generic name.
He's changing both his names. He's gonna be Travis Kelce Swift Smith.
He's gonna be Kelce Smith.
He's gonna be Kelce Taylor. And what I think is funny though is because I think that this announcement was relatively last minute that she couldn't make it.
Well, because weren't they hyping this up? Their parents are going to meet for the first time?
Well, yes, but here's what's funny. So one of my old co-hosts in Chicago was working for, I don't know if he's still there, but he was at a station in Philly called Q102 after we all split Chicago. And they did this whole promotion. Q102 is a pop station. It's like Kiss FM here in Cleveland. They made a big deal about how the fact they weren't going to play any Taylor Swift music because some dumb thing. We got to show our support for the birds, as though one has anything to do with the other, right? You're going to get more people, listeners mad at you for not playing Taylor Swift than anything else. So they banned Taylor Swift for the entire weekend because she was going to be in the game. And now she's not in the game. So they're like, yeah, man.
Oh, no. Now they're weekend numbers for nothing.
Q102 is punting Taylor Swift from the radio station because while we love Taylor Swift, we can't get enough of her. This weekend, it's really important we show our support for the birds, said Q102 radio host Nugget.
Yeah, Nugget.
There you go. Nugget. What a great way to identify with your fans. Call yourself Nugget.
I do like Taylor Swift, and I like her music, but I'm a little tired of
You
it.
fit the demo.
Well, okay. Wow, that's the meanest thing he's ever said to me out loud. Jeez.
According to Bridget Linton.
My goodness.
I didn't say that.
I thought you meant age.
I know.
No,
Like,
he was saying a fat, ugly girl. That's what he was saying with that. That I'm a fat, ugly girl, and that's why I like Taylor Swift.
I was saying that you like Taylor Swift because you are in the age range of women that like Taylor Swift.
No, you did.
Bridget Linton. 3
minutes ago, you were saying how Taylor Swift is for fat, ugly girls,
that's not what I believe.
Oh, my God.
I guess I didn't think of that as her demographic. I guess I thought of that as maybe a judgment call on.
All I'm saying is,
age-wise, you're right. It's a bullseye.
No,
in her
I know. We're the
demographic.
same age. I like her. But you cannot listen to any top 40 or mix station or anything without hearing it. And I'm just tired of it. She's everywhere. I'm a little burnt out.
That's why I refuse to do it.
Yeah, but she's the biggest artist on the planet.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I fully get it. She deserves her hype. I'm tired of it. I'm burnt out on it.
The hype.
Poundcake, you know what happened again today?
What?
A little bit different. It wasn't somebody that worked in the building, but as I was pulling in, rolled down my window, I got a little Jerry Rafferty blasting on the speakers.
Right down the line
Right down
or
the
Baker
line.
Street?
Right down the line is playing, and I see this black guy walking by, and he hears my music. He turns to me, and as it says right down the line, he points at me and he goes, right down the
That's
line.
right.
I'm not.
I swear to God. I believe you. A great song, Jerry Rafferty from Scotland. Yeah. He was in Steelers Wheels, right? He did Stuck in the Middle with You, and then he did Baker Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him other than I just know the songs.
Great song.
I don't know nothing about people's personal lives when it comes, or like the other bands they've been in. I couldn't even remember this dude's name the other night. I just was like, it's that guy. He's got the song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did Baker Street with that sweaty sax.
Love that.
But Right Down the Line is a great song. But yeah, he was in Steelers. He was in Steelers Wheel, and he'd been dead for a minute. But and then he went solo, and he had a handful of songs.
Well, this is music for fat, ugly guys. If that makes you feel better, Mary.
Whatever.
Yeah, but also, you know what? When you roll the window down and the guy gives you the thumbs up, it's because you're not trying. You're listening to something you genuinely enjoy. Yeah. You're not listening.
Not trying
You're
to
not
impress
trying
anybody.
to impress
I
the
just
guy.
Having me listen to a great song.
Right. Now, do you think he would have had the same? Clearly, he knows the song because he mouthed the lyric.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would have had the same thought had you been playing Baker Street.
I mean, I don't know if he would have.
I wonder. Maybe
I don't
he's a closet Jerry Rafferty
I don't
fan.
know. He's probably between the ages of 40 and 70. He was a black guy, so I have no
40
idea.
and 70.
I
Black
have no
don't
idea
crack.
how old he was.
He could have been 30. He could have been 80.
I know
But
this
he knew the song.
Everybody knows this song. Foo Fighters covered it some years ago.
You don't know Right Down the Line?
No, I never.
I feel like that'd been like your dad music a little bit.
Well, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this sounds like something my dad would listen to. But that little saxophone right there,
Fat guys.
I've heard, yeah.
Fat guy music.
Yeah. Jerry Rafferty was a guy who was not very comfortable with being well known and blah, blah, blah. And then he did Baker Street, and he just exploded in the United States.
Such a good song.
And that was a tough thing for him. Nailed it.
And strangers in the night.
That's how it
What are
goes.
the lyrics? And tell me what about?
Yeah. In the neighborhood. So the Taylor Swift, she will not be there tonight. But the Kelsey brothers will play each other. That's always exciting. Little sibling rivalry, as it were.
Just like they did in the Super Bowl. Little rematch with less stakes, which makes it less
You
exciting.
don't know what they're having for dinner.
Speaking of steaks, and Philly, by the way, perfect dovetail. They're looking for a group of dudes who stole a lot of meat from a refrigerated truck in Philly. 5 guys. I don't know how they know how many there were, but they said they're looking for 5 men who stole meat shortly after midnight. This was a thing that was parked at like a restaurant supply warehouse, and the driver was in the cab at the time.
Yep.
And the driver saw them. They said, we're only taking a little, and then kind of flashed his gun, and they stole 15 boxes of beef.
Are they hungry?
They probably want to resell it.
Well, that was my question. I'm like, maybe they'll like Robin Hood it and go give it to a homeless shelter or something.
Maybe they will.
There's $250,000 worth of meat in one of these trucks. That's wholesale. So $750,000 by the time they sell it, that's a lot of money. It is increasing. It's just the way of life right now. You know, people aren't being able to work.
What?
Who
People
knows?
aren't even able to work, so
He
they
has a
stole a bunch of meat.
platform and he's
The
gonna
hell
use
does
it.
that mean? Yeah, so they're going to flip that meat and
Coming
sell it
soon
retail.
to a mall parking lot.
Yeah. Flip your meat.
You ever see those trucks out there just selling?
Yeah. But there's always like a line.
Yeah.
Because you get like, it's like $70 and you get like 15 pounds of meat or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
There's a lot of meat.
I was at my parents yesterday, and we were talking about meat and where to get it. And my one cousin was talking about how they go to this shop. It's just a guy. He's got a small little spot, and he's got little like coolers or freezers. You walk in, you load up, and
Yeah.
it's grass-fed beef, and
Ooh,
it's
look at that.
very affordable for how, because he does everything. It's
Yeah,
a real
they're
small
his
operation.
cows,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to grab some of that farm beef. But that's the kind of conversations that were had yesterday.
Did they
in our-
graduate from Bovine University?
When I grow up, I'm going to. Can't believe you're swallowing this tripe.
Out from the Meat Council, enjoy this tripe. I want to go to Bovine University. I got a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192. Want to go to the Cavs game? I got tickets for you on the way back for when the Portland Trail Blazers are in town. That's the game, I believe. Yeah, the 30th, a week from this Thursday. It's going to be Cavs